This is a Crypto Legends podcast. In today's episode, meet crypto legend Min Wei, head of partnerships at Blockchain.com, on building a winning sports partnership strategy.
Welcome to another episode of Crypto Legends. Blockchain.com made history with the first ever crypto partnership with an NFL team, which also happens to be America's team. Come and learn about their legendary ideas to engage consumers in the moment, including stadium and in-game activations, in which fans have a never-before-seen experience using crypto and Web3 as part of their game day experience. It's not just about making crypto fun, which is pretty cool in itself. They are committed to creating content to elevate financial literacy. They are going to educate members of the organization, the team, and the fan community about Web3 and the future of finance, while giving back through charitable causes. Today, we are very lucky to have Min Wei, my friend and head of partnership at Blockchain.com, who had a strong career in Web2 before moving on Web3. She has been at Blockchain.com for a number of years, and today she will tell us about how Blockchain.com has evolved their offering over time, what their partnership with the Dallas Cowboys mean to them, and most importantly, how sport partnership and Metaverse combined look like. Namely, for her, it's a match in heaven. Cool. To start with, Min, can you tell us a bit about your background and what brought you to Blockchain.com?
Yes, sure. So I joined Blockchain.com in 2018 as part of an acquisition. I had started a company, and we were working out of this co-working space in San Francisco. It was supposed to be for retail startups. But in 2018, or at the end of 2017, as you can probably imagine, there were ICOs to the left and new projects to the right, and Origin protocol was behind us. And so, we were definitely part of the crypto craze in 2018. And so we joined April 2018 at Blockchain, and I've been working on partnerships and running kind of the function there. Previous to that, I have a background in sort of media and technology, sort of doing all sorts of kind of business strategy, ops, product functions.
So actually, after being an entrepreneur, what does it look like to join like maybe a more established project, although like Blockchain.com was pretty early when you joined them?
Yeah, I mean, it was such a different, in some ways, it's such a different time. And then the product was very different as well. When I joined, we had just added Ethereum to the wallet. We were still a non-custodial wallet and non-custodial platform. We had transitioned from a Explorer into a wallet and have seen tremendous success. And when I joined, it was really kind of the start of when we started to think about, okay, how else do we offer more functionalities and more ways for our users to engage on the platform? And that sort of kick-started the entree into a custodial platform that we are building, that we've been building since then, and that we have now added to our overall platform. So we now have a custodial wallet. As you know, we also have an exchange that we launched at the end of 2019. So those were, if you can just sort of in today's world, when we think about Blockchain.com, it is so different from back in 2018. And it's been just really interesting, and you feel the pain and understand the process that we went through, right? We went from a platform that did not have any KYC, did not have any fiat on-ramps into a platform that now is building out all these functionalities in-house and finding the best, partners to work with to offer that. So a big difference.
And so as part of your role in partnerships, can you tell us like what it encompasses? What type of partners are you looking at? What type of companies, areas? That would be super interesting to have an understanding.
Yeah, I mean, partnerships at Blockchain.com is actually pretty broad. So the way that we think about and the focus areas that we are working on kind of gets cut into 4 different categories. There are crypto partnerships that we look after, and that is very sort of what you would expect, right? We're looking at sort of asset listings, building out the process to do asset listings, who are the right ecosystems for us to be really embedded with, and what are some exciting infrastructure and platforms that are coming out that we should be working with and partnering with. There are sort of, very sort of traditional, I would say, product partnerships. And this is, kind of how we sort of evaluate what it is that we're currently offering on our platform. How do we improve existing functionalities and features? Payments is a very, good example of that. How do we add new features and functionality? So we recently partnered with Unstoppable Domains and Yacht, adding domain names to our platform. So these are all sort of ways in which we can enhance products. And then there's a category that I would call sort of growth partnerships, which is new products, new businesses and sort of new opportunities that we offer on the platform. And then lastly, there's a bucket of sort of strategic and brand partnerships that we look after. And of course, that involves, the partnership that we did with the Dallas Cowboys, as well as, a sort of upcoming conversations that we're having to kind of further expand our brand and to increase our access for users into crypto.
So I'm glad you brought up the topic, because it's today's topic, talking about sports partnership when it comes to crypto platform. So you have just touched a little bit upon it, but can we deep dive into why it's becoming an essential part of a successful partnership for crypto platforms to work with sports teams and venues?
Yeah, I mean, I guess I can't speak for why it's important for other platforms, but I can certainly share why it's important for us, which is, for Blockchain.com, as you're familiar with, we have, over 80 million wallets on the platform. We have over 37 million verified users. But that is, right now, if we look at the number of users in the US that have crypto, it's about 20%. And those are early adopters. They're like tech forward and finance forward folks. There's still remaining 80% of the users who do not have access to crypto. And so for us, it's really about reaching and the access and the adoption of crypto for those that are not currently in crypto. And one of the most sort of trusted and engaged communities out there are sports fans, right? And so I think the way that we sort of see sports partnerships play into our overall goal is that's a very sort of intuitive way to bridge that accessibility. And it's a very natural way for us to reach those remaining 80% that are not currently in crypto. So, for us, that's our goal. And that's why, we are eager and excited to work with a team like the Cowboys.
Yeah, and so it's a beautiful partnership. So you're mentioning about, of course, the Cowboys. Can you tell us a bit what has been your approach in finding the right team, the right sport? Is it just a game of numbers of fans, or is there more to that? Are you looking at the missions, the culture, maybe the marketing? Can you tell us more?
Yeah, for sure. I mean, I guess I would start with, sort of Blockchain.com. We sort of see ourselves as one of the world's most trusted and oldest platforms. And I think it has to really start with a match in value and fundamentals. For us, what's important is maintaining that trust, continue to build that trust, and the mission of bringing accessibility, just reaching our users, the passion, the integrity, and the long-term vision. So those are core to our values. And we've had a lot of conversations with other sports teams, other sports leagues, and it was really kind of the Cowboys really kind of stood out in terms of their passion and their integrity and their long-term vision for just where they see this partnership be. And so it just felt like a really nice fit, right? To be able to work with such a storied brand and a storied team, and us being one of the oldest platforms out there. So I think just from a sort of a core value point of view, it made a ton of sense. Um, and then the other aspect that I think really stood out was just the type of partner that they would be. They have, you know, they care a lot about the character. They care a lot about trust, right? And they almost bring you in as family. And that's how we want. I mean, this is a long-term partnership and a long-term relationship. So that's the type of, character and personality, that we want to work with in the long term. So it really kind of the core fundamental beliefs, the type of partnership they were going to be. And then, of course, just if you think about kind of, brand and reach and all the marketing aspect, I mean, they're one of the best. So it made a ton of sense from that point of view as well. But I have to say, it really starts with the fundamentals, making sure that we're so aligned in our mission and our beliefs is important.
It's quite interesting to see that, like, in the end, the branding partnership can look like a partnership as when you are working with tech providers. That you really just want people that are super aligned on how you work, and at the end of the day, it's not only about the brands, but it's also about, okay, like, can we actually like work together? Do we look at in the same way, in the same direction, to actually reach the same goals? So yeah, it's quite interesting to see that a marketing partnership can look like basically a very deep tech partnership.
Yeah, I mean, and you can totally imagine, right? Like, there will be we will have so many activations and initiatives, and it may not necessarily go the way that we want. It may not necessarily go the way that they want, but a successful partnership is one that, like, the two of you will work together to make sure that our common goals are achieved. Yeah, so that's how we see it, is that that is how we're going to build that lasting relationship. We're going to have to work at it together and find a partner that you want to work on something together with. Like, that's the super important piece. And to your point, like, yeah, that does sound like any tech partnership, right? Any like product partnership that we're building. But in some ways, it kind of is when you break it down.
You like, so I know you have been mentioning to me, like, it's very still early stage in the partnership. I would still be keen to understand maybe what have been the first branding step that you have taken to reach out to the Cowboys fans.
Yeah, I mean, we have a lot planned, and so yeah, as I was saying, I probably can't diverge some of those details, but I can talk at a high level about how we're thinking about it, which is, look, I think, as I mentioned, accessibility and reaching the fans, that's first and foremost, and we can start with the basics, right? Like, we can provide sort of, I think we talked about, having a QR code at the back of every seat so that, you can scan it and either go to the Cowboys website and learn more about crypto, or vice versa, go to blockchain.com and sort of play around with a wallet. What is a wallet, right? And I think there's a lot that we can do to just kind of make that first step into crypto easy, digestible, and fun. So I think we're doing a lot of activations around, like, what can we do to just get to get people interested, excited, and make it fun for the fans. So we're doing a bunch of stuff in stadium. We're providing a lot of space for fans to be able to kind of learn and to kind of engage with us as a platform. So that is, and by the way, what we're gonna do, and you can probably tell this is the case. We're gonna start small. We're gonna see what works, and we're gonna keep building. Right? We're gonna sort of be iterable. We're gonna iterate on these different activations, and we'll see. We want to sort of see what works best. And then I think there are also, we also are thinking about events and summits, and providing access to the fans, and give them kind of like a real world experience of like what it means to be interacting with crypto, teaching and educating and providing content for those people in real life as well. And then if and this is more brainstorming, but if you go down the rabbit hole of Web3, there's so much that can happen. Like, what if you tokenize a seat, into NFTs? You have fractional ownership, and you access special events, and access to maybe you get airdrops of trophies. And I think those are things that we're super excited about, but it's probably not a phase 1 or a phase 2 thing. But it is about starting small, seeing what the fans are engaging with, what they like, and then continuing to kind of build that fun, exciting kind of path for that interaction between crypto and the sports fans.
That's really interesting, because what you're describing is very much like the approach you have taken in building blockchain.com, actually. Like building it through MVP and successive iterations, which is basically like what modern days agile processes look like. So like very much looking forward to see where it's gonna go. I would love to touch upon, because you have touched upon a little bit about it, but I would like to know if there is a bit, if we could deep dive into it. It's around financial literacy and crypto literacy, and basically the different initiatives that you're taking on, not only with the Cowboys, but like the Blockchain.com community. Like, can you a bit outlay the different things that you have been doing when it comes to crypto education and financial educations to your community?
Yeah, yes, absolutely. I mean, I think especially in today's macro environment, kind of financial literacy, crypto literacy is super important. So there are a couple different things that sort of we are doing and are thinking about at a high level. We are actually in active conversations with partners in the education space, specifically to think about how we can provide thought leadership to a younger generation, right? What types of content can we put out there to not just help them be more crypto literate, but also kind of, be part of the fintech crypto community. So it's educating, it's, career, right? And then it's opportunities within that space. We're working with a great organization called Work in Fintech, and they are all about bringing young students into the fintech space. We're providing kind of resources from kind of the, mentoring and participating in their career fairs, et cetera, et cetera. So we think it's really important to be thinking hard about specifically like targeting that educational space and providing content, providing thought leadership, and providing access to us, to people that are in this space, to really help us help others understand what's going on there. And then there are we have a bit of a microphone, right? We're in a very fortunate place where we have an audience. And so we are using that platform to educate our users. And, we put out podcasts that, we have a head of research that really is super deep in understanding crypto as an industry, as an economy. So we put out content to our users around just specifically around crypto, but also just sort of the macro environment and how to really think about financial literacy there. We are also very focused on making sure that any new features and any new partnerships that we launch, that we have all the right content in place to help our users understand what it is. So a rewards we have a rewards platform. What does it mean to have a rewards platform? Where is that reward coming from? How often are these rewards going to change in terms of the percent? Like those are all communications that we take very seriously, and that we always make sure that our users have a very clear understanding of what is happening on our platform. So I think just like being communicative and being sort of being very open about what exactly we are offering on our platform is super important through this platform that we have of communications. And then lastly, I think we look to like not just through these education channels, not just through our own platform, but we want to do it together with partners, right? Any innovation or any partnerships that we have, we make sure that marketing and communications become sort of the number one thing that we think about as we approach our launch. It's about making sure, again, very similar to what we're doing on our own platform. It's about making sure that that we're in sync with our partners, and make sure that we're communicating what exactly it is that we're doing. How does adding Cello Euro to our platform, what does that mean to our users in Europe? What does it mean to have a I guess now this is maybe a tricky word, but an algorithmic stablecoin in Europe that is backed by a reserve. By the way, this reserve is more than 100% ratio, right? So like just kind of educating our users about what exactly it is that we're offering on our platform. I think those are all steps that we're taking to kind of make sure that our users are as educated as they can be.
Which makes total sense, because in the end, like when we want to bring crypto to the mainstream, we need to make sure that people actually understand what everything means. And specifically, like I think in such a complicated market right now, you want even more the people to really understand what's going on, how to assess projects, how to assess cryptocurrencies, and just make sure that like you are investing or backing projects that you have really thoroughly assessed. And really understand also like all the lending deal mechanism, the yielding mechanism, all this type of things. So I think there is no way around that if we want to become mainstream, basically.
We've been in the space for so long, and I'm, I still feel like I'm trying to keep up, so I feel like there's never too much. It's because there's just so much activity, and in a way it's so exciting, right? There's so much innovation, but because of that, I think we have to take the responsibility to be really careful, and to be the ones that are really making sure that what we are offering on the platform is the right thing for our users.
I would like to switch to the metaverse, actually. There is so much to say about it, and obviously, but I would like to understand how you see how Blockchain.com could be involved. Like, I do understand we're at the very beginning of the story. Like, I guess that it could happen somehow through the sports partnerships, including the Cowboys one. But like, have you been thinking about it? And what does it look like as a MVP again?
Yeah. I mean, absolutely. We've been thinking about it. It's not something that we that escapes you, right? It's everywhere, and it is exciting, and it's fun. So and if Matt or Steven on my team were here, they would, I'm sure, have thousands of ideas of what it could be. But I think from just sort of like at a high level, I think if you think about metaverse and sports, like what a perfect union, right? I think at a very basic level, just experience. People and fans that aren't able to go to an actual stadium in real life can actually have the ability to experience, perhaps, in the metaverse. I mean, I think that is a bit of that's a game changer, right? I think you can bring everything in real life into the metaverse: the seats, the stadium, the concessions, the merchandise. There's some really fun stuff that we can do in terms of a sports partnership within a metaverse. But that's only the first step. I think what's actually What's exciting and what we are probably going to see more of is like just the fan interactions and the engagement, right? Imagine sort of the level of interaction that fans can have with maybe specific players, maybe specific teams. And I guess like I get kind of excited when I think about like what does it mean, when a team wins the Super Bowl, for example. What does it mean for the fans? Up until now, it's just been celebrations and parades, but in the metaverse, there could be so much more. And what if you get, in a very simple case, like what if you get airdropped a trophy for anybody that attended this game, but then what does this trophy what if this trophy has value in the future, right? Like this is the whole concept of like I was there when this happened. What else, what if I can trade or lend or loan or get you receive additional props or there's just so many things that could happen from a fan's perspective that I think can get really exciting. And then of course I think the last piece that I haven't fully sort of formed what it could look like, but I feel like there must be a lot of exciting things is around, fantasy sports. What does fantasy sports look like in the metaverse? I mean, that could be super exciting, and that gives a lot of interesting opportunities as far as partnership goes. So yeah, I think it's metaverse itself is still in at an early stage, and I think sports sponsorships within it is probably even earlier, but I can just imagine that being one of the first areas I think that brands and teams are thinking about, because there's just so much more that you can give to the entire ecosystem within the metaverse for these sports teams and sports fans. I think it's an exciting time to really get creative and think about what you can do.
Thank you so much. Your enthusiasm on the topic is like contagious. So like sport partnerships and metaverse like are the best match. I think we will stay on that for the last words. Thank you so much, Min, for making the time on telling us everything about like your partnership with the Cowboys, but even the broader history of Blockchain.com, how the company has grown and basically expanded over the past years. What are your plans for this partnership with the Cowboys, but even beyond, and also touching upon the financial literacy and every kind of initiative that you are taking to really enable your community to understand more and ultimately bring crypto to the mainstream. So this was again another episode of Crypto Legends. Thank you so much, everybody, for joining. I really hope you enjoyed the discussion, and I will see you very soon for another episode.